What is going on, people? It's your main man, Joe Fleetwood, the hustler, and welcome to the Joe Fleetwood podcast. If this is your first time checking out the show, make sure you go to www.joefleetwood.net. That way you can get all of my social media links. I also do gaming on Twitch. You can find that on there, and Kick as well. As you can see from my background, that I definitely do be getting down on them joysticks. And I'm talking about. So make sure you go there and check it out. Also, while you're over at joefleetwood.net, go ahead and check out all the merchandise that I have to offer. You'll find things like this signature Joe Fleetwood hat that I always wear during my podcast, and then this hoodie. Yeah, you see it. You see it. You get it. You definitely get it. Yeah, so make sure you go to joefleetwood.net and check that out. Also, while you're on there, if you are a fan of energy drinks, during my game podcast, you will see the Dubby logo there. I'm typically sponsored by Dubby, the jitter-free energy drink, where you can get the canned drinks, the tubs, and the powder. I typically try to drink those instead of Monsters, but every so often, you know how it is. Monsters are readily available. Dubby, not so much. But you can order it. Make sure you use the promo code Joe Fleetwood, and you get a 10% off. That's right, JOEFLEETWOOD. Now, let's get into today's show. And this one is, I don't want to, it's wild, but it's definitely one that's needed. And I say it's one that's needed because of the way the world is right now when it comes to the porn industry. Now, if you've been to this podcast before, you know it is no secret that I have done several podcasts talking about OnlyFans and other porn sites. But this one But this story, we're going to be talking about Gucci3rdLeg. Now, you have to be hiding under a rock or just not on Twitter to not have heard something about Gucci3rdLeg and the situation with him and Danae Davis. So, you know, the glamorization of porn in the industry, like I said, it's always been at an all-time high because it's $1 billion business. So why would it not be at an all-time high? But the part of the industry that does not get talked about enough is the risk that are involved in being in the industry. And one of those risks is STDs and the transmission of those diseases. Now, in the latest porn drama between Gucci and Nay exposed Gucci for giving out herpes simplex 2, HSV 2, on her tick. And when they made the post, it went viral, and it went viral quick. So quick that right after it happened, I had already saw it when my son got off work. He came into the kitchen. He was like, "You heard about Gucci3rdLeg?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've seen the post. I've seen it all over Twitter. So I'm kind of up to date on what's going on with him." Now, if you have not seen or don't even know who Gucci3rdLeg is or who Danae is, what I'll do is I will share a portion of her post that she made on TikTok, and you know, you get to hear it straight from her regarding Gucci3rdLeg and her interaction.
I'm here to tell you guys that
Before I do that, let me. All right, there we go.
allegedly Gucci3rdLeg is out here giving people HSV2, that is genital herpes. If you collab with him and then found out a month to 3 months later that you have genital herpes, there's a high likelihood that you got by that man.
So she's saying that she was not aware of, you know, that Gucci had the STD. Now, later on, she goes to say that she saw something on his genitals and that he was he said that he said that he cut himself shaving. Right now, we'll get into that part later. But recently, you know, in order to do some damage control, Gucci was on Aiden Ross's live stream. Gucci pulled up his phone. He pulled out the panel. He showed that he had a panel when he tested. He had HSV1. Danae mentioned that she had sex with Gucci during the active outbreak, like I said, and when she saw that on his genitalia, she was just none the wiser to it. Now, if you don't know the difference between HSV1 and HSV2, HSV1 is commonly the cause of oral herpes or cold sores. When you get the cold sores in the corner of your mouth. However, it's possible to have HSV1 and have genital warts also, and HSV2, and it causes oral herpes. But typically, HSV2 is the one that causes genital warts. Now, let's talk about accountability, because that's the part that's actually missing in all of this. Some of the porn stars, they take it very serious because it's how they make money. And having an active STD should be the bare minimum of checks you do before you collab with anyone. Now, Gucci had an active responsibility to update his STD panel. And when you look at the panel that he showed on Aiden Ross's stream, it was outdated. I think it was 2023 was the last time that he had an active panel done for STDs. It's almost 2025. How is it that if you're going to be active in the porn business, you don't have an active STD panel done? Like that's one of the things you should probably get done before you even step foot in front of a camera. Like, you should definitely have that done. So, like I said, he had an active responsibility to update his panel, and he could have declined to shoot. That would have been one way to do it. He could have declined to shoot, wait until he was in a dormant state, no active sores, no antibodies, done a panel, came out clean. He also had a responsibility to Danae to let her know the risk of doing a shoot with him, which he didn't do. At a minimum, he owed her that much. Now, another thing he could have did was just call the shoot off altogether and just not have done it. Now, Danae, so being ignorant is not an excuse. It sucks, and I feel for her. But you got to get smart on these things. There should have been a point where, she should have done some research if you're going to be in that business doing that line of work. And she admitted it. If you go back to her page on TikTok, you can go through, all the things that she talks about. She talks about how, she was ignorant. She didn't know. She has her part to play in all of this. And I genuinely feel sorry for her. And I feel sorry for anyone else who did not require this man to go get a STD panel done. Like, in a business like this. The other thing too is you shouldn't be surprised, because when you look at the body count, he said he had 3,000. His ex-girlfriend had a body count of 2,000. Hey, that young man is out there getting it in. 3,000? And your ex-girlfriend got a body count of 2,000? I personally don't even know 5,000 people. And that's between the two of y'all. 5,000 people, bro. I'm sorry, man. That's a different kind of hoeing. That's a different type. Even if you a man, to have that many, bro, that's got to be all you doing. That's work. And for that to be your actual job, and you not actively try to take care of yourself, fam, you way out of pocket. Way out of pocket. Now, to keep things going on even further, and we can talk about the legal ramifications, because to actively put somebody's medical information out to the public, that is punishable under HIPAA. So that's another thing. Yeah, that's a bad situation. But then, and like I said, my heart really goes out to Danae, because there was another. So here's what happened with what's going on in her life, because this was actually supposed to be her first collaboration in the porn business. So for her first collaboration in the porn business, for her to end up having a STD, I know that sucks. But that's the risk of the business. Just like if you have unprotected sex, the risk of that business is having a child or an STD. And unfortunately, she struck gold on the first go round. So, but because of this. Now, if you don't know who Deshae Frost is, he's also a YouTube streamer. I remember Shay when he was a lot younger, seeing him on Instagram and stuff like that. But Shay, she was on Shay's stream, and she's been on Shay's stream a few times. He had some interactions with her. He even admitted to having sex with her, but because she made that statement, it called into question Shay's status. So Shay was fine. He actually, went on one of his streams, picked up the phone. He called Nay. They had a conversation. He explained to his streamers, like, hey, I had sexual intercourse with Nay prior to her having her interaction with Gucci3rdLeg. So I think they had their interaction in November, posted it in December, and then that following year, which would have been this year, is when she had the interaction with Gucci3rdLeg, and then found out that she contracted HSV1. So yeah, now these kids are young, right? And there's a few, and this is for the younger people out there. Let me explain something to you. I know a lot of times you be like, you ain't trying to hear nothing the old dudes saying. You ain't trying to hear nothing the OGs saying. You ain't trying to hear nothing your parents saying. This is one of those times where it would behoove you to have an OG in your corner, a real manager, somebody who understands PR to help you navigate these waters. You know what I'm talking about? This is a prime example why men and women need mentors in business. You need it. Hoes need pimps, pimps need mentors. That's a bar. Y'all need a public relations rep, a PR rep. You know what I mean? You need a manager that can help you navigate these situations, because it didn't have to go out like this. Now, because right now, both of y'all, it just looked completely messy. There was other ways to go about it. You know what I mean? That could have been a meeting between, and I get it. When you're mad, you're mad. You just, that phone is in your hand and you want to put it out there and you want to place the vent. Go to therapy, y'all. Go to therapy. You know what I mean? Go get your lawyer. Bring Gucci to the table. Put some stipulations out there. Let's fix this situation. Well, you really can't fix it. But let's come to an agreement and a resolution. Moving forward. Straight up. My boy, yo, moving forward, your brand is done. I don't think anybody is going to collab with you at this point. But it is a learning lesson for anybody else who's out there, who's thinking about going into the business, who's thinking about, those 3 or 4 activities, or if you're thinking about going into the porn industry in general. This is a lesson. Make sure you got to have a team around you of smart people, business-minded people, when you're trying to create a brand, and your body is the brand. You have to take care of that. No different than what an athlete would. You know what I mean? You cannot take any unnecessary risk and just out there randomly having sex without getting, an STD panel done. You run the risk of catching something. And unfortunately, the sad part about it is, for Danae, she ran into one. Now, on top of that, I have the list of the people that Gucci has had sex with. And the list is not 3,000 people long, but it's 75 people, and a lot of these are duplicates, so it's not actually 75. There's a few duplicates on this list, and some of them I don't know personally, but I have seen some of their work on Twitter. Lisa Aries, Bianca Blue, like I've seen their work. Now, Sexy Red is on here, but I don't know if that's the rapper Sexy Red or somebody else. So don't want to make that conclusion. I know Sub Girl. I've seen her. I am Victoria. I know who she is. Mystical the Menace. Let's see who else. 6 Foot Phenomenon. I know who she is. Isabella Moon, I know her. Mover Phoenix, know her. Let's see. I don't think I know any on that list. We'll go 51 through 75. Monica Santiago. I didn't even know she was still in the business. Like, I remember, if this the same one I'm thinking about, I'm gonna have to go look that up, because I remember Monica Santiago from like the West Coast production days. Like, she go that far back, if that's the one. Let's see who else. No, don't. Yeah, that's it, man. That's really it. Is 75 on here, but I know I see at least 2 or 3 duplicates. So the actual list probably only contains about 70 people. Yeah, probably about 70 to 68, somewhere in there, of actual people, because a lot of these names are duplicates, and apparently, I guess somebody has taken the time to go through Twitter and find everyone that he's collaborated with. On the other hand, it put things into perspective, because now, and I don't know who Danae has had after Gucci, but yeah, if there's been anybody that she's been with after Gucci, they're at risk. And then the other thing too is, because the way I'm looking at this, if she just found out she got it, and then there's 75 names, I don't think, 75 or so, I don't think everybody in that 70, well, apparently everybody is at risk, because he had it at least as of 2023. So anybody that he's collaborated with since 2023 on up until now, well, you definitely need to get checked. And I know a lot of people are going to be trying to think back and be like, just, yo, I wonder if I saw anything. I wonder if I saw anything on him, during our scene that I didn't pick up on. And if you did, bro, make sure you go get yourself checked out, man. Make sure you go check that. That's a risky business to be involved in. So here's what I want to do. After this podcast is over, and wherever you look at it, I am going to post a poll, and I want you to tell me if you think that you could actually actively be in the porn business. I want to hear it from you. And if you could be in there, what would be some of your requirements? Because a lot of nowadays, you could be in it and nobody would even know it. You don't even have to show your face. And I even said this, man, like, the way my kids blow through my money, like, I can just get paid, and all of a sudden there's 3 emergencies. One kid need new tires. Another one need his rent paid. And then another one, he might just tab something around the house. And I got to be paying for that because he using my tools. So who knows? You know what I mean? I feel like that sometimes. Like, I just need to go on, jump out there, and you see me on Twitter, keep your mouth closed. Just keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm talking about? Well, anyway, man, thank y'all for joining today. Today's going to be a short podcast, man, but I'd like to thank you guys for joining today and listening to me talk about the situation with Gucci3rdLeg and Danae Davis, man. I hope this is a lesson to all the young people out there. Like I said, when you see this podcast, especially if you're doing it on Spotify, go ahead and answer the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Also, I put it on the rest of my social media to kind of get some feedback from people. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next podcast. Make sure you go to www.joefleetwood.net. Go to my merch store where you can find this hat, this hoodie also, and a bunch of other stuff, as well as all of my other social media links. And I look forward to talking to you people next week. Peace.